The night sky was calm, peaceful, silent, at least to the eyes of billions who lived on Earth. But far beyond the blue skies and twinkling stars, something had changed. Something that would shake humanity's world and force it to confront dangers it had never imagined before. Deep in the vastness of space, a signal traveled through the endless void, moving faster than light. It was not random noise or a harmless cosmic burst. It was a message. A warning at the Global Space Monitoring Center. A small team of scientists and engineers worked quietly, scanning the skies for anything unusual. Their job was often dull, filled with static signals and routine checks. On this night, the equipment began to beep with urgency. A strange signal pulsed through the detectors, an alien message unlike any before. The signal was encrypted, layered with complex codes and patterns that took hours to decode. Dr. Mia Carter, linguist specializing in extraterrestrial communication, stared intently at the glowing screen. The message was chilling. It spoke of an approaching force, something powerful and deadly. The aliens behind the message warned Earth to face destruction. The room fell silent. The gravity of the warning pressed down on everyone present. This was not a peaceful greeting or a request for alliance. This was a threat. Cold, clear threat that meant war was coming. Immediately, the news was brought to the world's leaders. Military commanders, scientists, and government officials gathered in emergency sessions. The debate was fierce. Some wanted to try to respond peacefully, to find a way to communicate and understand. Others argued that the warning meant only one thing: prepare for war. Earth had never faced an enemy like this. The history of humanity was filled with wars, yes, but all fought on a single planet. Now, the stakes were higher. The entire planet, the entire species, was under threat. In the secret chambers of the United Nations Security Council, the decision was made to build a weapon of warship unlike anything before. A massive, powerful vessel that could defend Earth and carry the fight into space if needed. The project would require cooperation from every nation and demand resources never before gathered. But not everyone trusted the idea of war. Peace groups protested, fearing that the military buildup would provoke the very conflict they hoped to avoid. The public was divided. Fear spread and rumors raced through social media. Was the threat real? Or was this just a misunderstanding? As the Warship project began, strange incidents started to occur. Communications were hacked. Scientists received threats. A shadowy group appeared to be sabotaging the effort from within. The enemy might already have spies on Earth. Meanwhile, Dr. Carter and her team worked tirelessly to understand more about the aliens. The message was fragmented, but the words spoke of a power far beyond anything humanity had. A force that would not stop at Earth, but sweep across the stars, destroying all who opposed it. Tensions rose. Earth was racing against time. Every day the warship was delayed, the danger grew. The countdown to the alien arrival had begun. In the skies above Earth, satellites tracked unknown ships entering the solar system. The aliens were coming. And Earth's response was simple but strong. Build the warship. Prepare for battle. But in the shadows, unknown to all, other forces watched. The forces that had been silent for centuries but were now stirring. The warning was only the beginning. The stars had sent their message. Earth had answered with steel and fire. The war was about to begin. The decision to build Earth's first warship was not easy. It was a step into the unknown, a leap of faith driven by fear and hope. Leaders from every nation met in closed chambers, agreeing that survival depended on unity. The warship, codenamed Sentinel, would be the greatest creation humanity had ever built. Its purpose: defend Earth, project power into space. It sent a message to the approaching aliens that Earth was ready. But building Sentinel was a race against time, and the clock was ticking fast. In shipyards scattered across the globe, workers and scientists labored day and night. Steel plates were forged, engines designed, weapons engineered, but unlike any previous project, this one was shrouded in secrecy. Only a select few knew the true scale and purpose. Every worker, engineer, and scientist was screened thoroughly, yet despite these efforts, mysterious accidents began to happen. At the main assembly yard, where the warship's massive hull slowly took shape, an explosion rocked one of the engine bays. No one was hurt, but the damage set back the timeline by weeks. Officials called it a technical failure, but whispers of sabotage grew louder. Was someone trying to stop the project from succeeding? Amidst the tension, a small team of security experts worked to find the saboteur. Their search revealed chilling truths. Unknown agents had infiltrated Earth's defense programs. They left false trails, destroyed equipment, and tried to steal classified data. Meanwhile, political tensions surfaced. Some countries feared that Sentinel would shift the balance of power on Earth. Nations bickered over control, funding, and leadership of the project. Diplomats argued in endless meetings while the ship's construction continued amid rising frustration. Inside the warship's command center, Captain Marcus Holt prepared for his future role. He was a veteran pilot, chosen not just for his skill, but for his calm under pressure. Marcus trained with a team of specialist engineers, weapon officers, communication experts. They drilled for every possible scenario, knowing the stakes were higher than any mission before. The warship itself was a marvel. It combined the best technologies Earth had: advanced propulsion systems capable of faster-than-light travel, energy shields that could absorb powerful blasts, and weapons that could destroy enemy ships with precision strikes. But perhaps the most mysterious part was the ship's power core. Based on experimental technology, it promised enormous energy output, but had never been tested in battle. As the ship grew closer to completion, the strange signals that started the crisis returned. Earth's scientists, including Dr. Mia Carter, worked to decode them again. This time, they found new information hidden beneath the warning star map, showing the route the alien fleet was taking. The destination was clear: Earth's solar system. The countdown to contact shortened. Amid the growing pressure, Captain Holt faced a challenge within his crew. One of his trusted officers, Lieutenant Sarah Kim, questioned the mission. She wondered if building such a powerful warship risked provoking the aliens instead of protecting Earth. Their disagreements sparked tension aboard Sentinel, threatening unity at a critical time, adding to the strain. Strange transmissions intercepted by Earth's satellites hinted that not all aliens in the approaching fleet were united. Some messages suggested internal conflict or rebellion within the alien ranks. Could Earth use this to its advantage? Or was it a trap designed to weaken human resolve? Sabotage attempts escalated. An engineer working on the ship's energy core disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Security footage was wiped clean, and official reports called it a personnel transfer. But rumors told a different story. As construction neared its final stages, Earth's leaders debated their next steps. Should Sentinel be deployed immediately? Upon completion, or was there a chance to reach out again to the aliens for peace? Captain Holt stood firm. Can't wait for them to decide our fate. We must be ready. The warship's first launch date was set. Across the globe, millions watched the live broadcast as Sentinel rose from the shipyards, its massive frame gleaming under the sun. Cheers mixed with anxious silence. This was Earth's answer, a bold statement that it would not be conquered. Without a fight, but deep in the shadows, the saboteurs prepared their final move. They had one chance to stop Sentinel before it could leave the dock. The fate of humanity hung by a thread. The countdown continued. The warship was Earth's hope, but the battle for its survival was just beginning. The day Sentinel launched was like no other in human history. Crowds gathered beneath the gleaming frame of Earth's greatest warship, watching as its engines roared to life. The ship lifted smoothly, powerful yet graceful, into the sky before accelerating beyond the atmosphere. The world held its breath, knowing the future depended on this single vessel. Captain Marcus Holt stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the stars ahead. Sensors picked up a fleet approaching fast, larger than any recorded before. The alien ships were unlike anything Earth had ever seen: sleek, metallic, with strange energy signatures that made Earth's best scientists nervous. Communication attempts began immediately. The ship sent signals, encoded messages hoping to open peaceful talks. But the response was cold silence. Then, a sudden burst of energy slammed into Sentinel, shaking the ship violently. The battle had begun. Explosions rocked the vessel. Shields flared under the pressure, absorbing hit after hit. The crew sprang into action, manning weapon stations and emergency controls. Captain Holt's voice was steady as he coordinated defense and counterattacks. The alien fleet moved with terrifying precision. Their weapons were advanced, firing beams that sliced through Sentinels, shields, and hull. The ship shuddered with each impact, alarms ringing throughout the corridors. In the midst of the chaos, Lieutenant Sarah Kim struggled to keep her team focused. She had doubts about the mission, but now, faced with real battle, her resolve hardened. The fight was survival, and failure was not an option. Elsewhere, Dr. Mia Carter worked frantically to decode new alien signals intercepted during the fight. Hidden in the chaos was a message, harsh, threatening, and clear: surrender or be destroyed. The warship's weapons fired in response, targeting enemy vessels and disrupting their formations. Each hit was a small victory, but the aliens pressed forward, relentless. In the ship's engine room, engineers battled to keep the experimental power core stable. The core's energy fluctuated dangerously under the strain of battle. If it failed, Sentinel would be lost in an instant. Captain Holt made a critical decision: to use the warship's secret weapon, a concentrated energy pulse designed to cripple the enemy fleet. It was risky, untested in real combat, but the odds left little choice. The pulse fired, sending a wave of energy that struck the alien ships. Several vessels exploded, others faltered, retreating for the moment, but the victory was costly. Sentinels. Shields were nearly gone, and damage was severe. As the battle slowed, the crew took stock. Lives were lost, but Earth had shown strength. The alien fleet did not retreat far. Instead, it hovered nearby, watching, waiting for the next move. Captain Holt knew this was only the beginning. The aliens had made their warning clear with fire, and Earth's reply was steel and courage. Back on Earth, people watched the battle unfold through live transmissions, fear mixed with hope. The war was real, and the stakes were higher than anyone could imagine. In quiet rooms, governments debated: was peace still possible? Or was the fight for Earth's survival inevitable? Meanwhile, deep within the alien fleet, voices whispered of the warship's unexpected strength and Earth's fierce will. The war was no longer a simple conquest. It was a clash of wills. Sentinel prepared for the next encounter. Its crew scarred, but determined. The vast war among the stars had begun in earnest. The warning had come. Earth had answered. And now, the true battle for the future was underway. The battle had left Sentinel battered and bruised, but it still floated among the stars, a shining beacon of human resolve. Inside the ship's command center, the hum of machinery mixed with the heavy breaths of the crew. The scars of battle were fresh not just on the ship's hull, but on the hearts of those who had faced death and lived. Captain Marcus Holt stood before his officers, his face serious. The warship's damage was severe, and repairs would take weeks. But worse than the physical damage was the growing tension within the crew. Doubts whispered in quiet corners. Was this war truly the right choice? Had Earth rushed into conflict without fully understanding the aliens' intentions? Lieutenant Sarah Kim was one of those voices. She had long questioned the mission, worried the warship's power might provoke the enemy further. Now, after battle, her fears deepened. "We need answers," she told Marcus quietly. "Not just about their weapons, but why they came at all." Sentinel limped back toward Earth's orbit for repairs. Earth's scientists, led by Dr. Mia Carter, studied every piece of data from the encounter. Hidden in the alien signals was something new, evidence that the enemy's fleet was not united. Some ships sent secret transmissions, hinting at internal conflict, fear, even rebellion among their ranks. More troubling still was what the scientists discovered beneath the warship's own decks. The ship's power core, based on experimental tech, was beginning to show unexpected side effects. Some crew members reported strange visions, headaches, even fainting spells. The core's energy pulses seemed to affect the human mind in unpredictable ways. The medical team grew concerned. Was the warship's secret weapon too dangerous to use? Could it be harming those it was meant to protect? At the same time, Earth's intelligence agencies uncovered disturbing news. There were spies within Sentinel's crew. Sabotage was not only happening on the ground, but also in space. A hidden traitor was leaking secrets to the enemy, threatening to destroy the fragile trust among the crew. Captain Holt faced a nightmare of suspicion. Whom could he trust? Every decision became a careful balance between survival and betrayal. Meanwhile, the alien fleet sent another message this time, a direct threat. The words were harsh and unforgiving. Surrender immediately, or face complete annihilation. But Earth refused to back down. Alina, a new intelligence officer aboard Sentinel, began her own investigation. She searched through encrypted logs, tracking the saboteurs' movements. Her discoveries revealed a shocking truth. The spy was not who anyone expected. It was someone close to the command team, hiding behind a mask of loyalty. The revelation shook the crew. The warship was not only fighting an external enemy, but battling division from within. As tensions grew, Captain Holt called for a full crew meeting. He spoke honestly about the dangers ahead and the need for unity. "We are Earth's shield and sword," he said. "But we cannot succeed if we fight each other." In the midst of this, Dr. Carter made a breakthrough. The alien signals contained a deeper message, a warning about a threat even greater than their warship. Something ancient, powerful, and terrible, waiting beyond the stars. The crew realized that the war was not just between Earth and the aliens. It was part of a much larger battle, a cosmic struggle that could change the fate of all life. The question hung heavy. Could Earth survive the battles to come? Or was this only the beginning of a war far darker than anyone had imagined? Prepared to return to the fight, stronger but wary. The secrets beneath the warship had changed everything. The galaxy's true war had just begun. The war had dragged on longer than anyone expected. Space battles raged across star systems, each clash leaving scars on planets and souls alike. Sentinel was no longer just a symbol of Earth's strength. It was a battered fortress, pushed to its limits by relentless alien attacks. The crew's faces were etched with exhaustion, their bodies worn thin from endless danger. Captain Marcus Holt knew the time had come for a new plan. The aliens were preparing a devastating Wapana device capable of wiping out entire worlds. In a single strike, intelligence reports confirmed the weapon was nearing completion on a hidden base deep within enemy territory. If activated, it would mean disaster for Earth and all her allies. The decision was clear. Sentinel would lead a daring mission to infiltrate the enemy stronghold and destroy the weapon before it could be used. The operation was risky hundreds of light years into dangerous space, with no backup, no second chances. The crew trained for weeks, preparing for the impossible. Specialists in stealth, combat, hacking, and demolition rehearsed every detail. Among them, Lieutenant Sarah Kim wrestled with her fears, but steeled herself. This mission was a chance to prove that Earth's fight was just and necessary. As the warship slipped quietly through the darkness, avoiding enemy patrols, tensions ran high. Every sensor beep, every shadow on the radar was a potential threat. The team moved like ghosts through the void. The alien stronghold loomed massive, fortress-like, surrounded by deadly defense systems. The mission demanded silence and precision. Sentinel deployed a small strike team led by Captain Holt and Sarah inside the fortress, while the rest of the crew held off the outer fleet. Inside, the team faced traps and enemy soldiers ready to kill. Every corridor was a battlefield, every corner a test of courage. Explosions shook the walls as the team pushed deeper into the heart of the base. At the weapon's core, the device was more terrible than imagined. It pulsed with energy, ready to unleash destruction on an unimaginable scale. The team planted explosives, fighting off waves of defenders, but the mission took a deadly turn. The aliens activated an emergency protocol, triggering a self-destruct countdown. Escape was now a race against time. Back on the warship, the crew fought desperately to hold off enemy attacks. Commander Alina Shaw coordinated the defense, her calm voice steadying nerves even as ships around them exploded, with seconds to spare. The strike team blasted their way to the surface and boarded Sentinel. The ship powered away, just as the alien base erupted in flames, the weapon destroyed. Victory was theirs, but it came at a cost. Several crew members were lost, friends and heroes who had given everything. The battle marked a turning point. The alien's weapon was gone, and Earth's hope was rekindled. But the war was not over. New threats emerged from the shadows. Strange signals hinted at other forces watching the conflict, waiting for their moment. The galaxy was larger and more dangerous than anyone had known. Captain Holt looked to the stars, knowing the fight for Earth's survival had entered a new phase. The mission had shown that courage and sacrifice could change fate, but only if humanity stayed united. The warship's crew mourned their losses, but stood ready. The turning point was just the beginning of a deeper war. The galaxy watched hand, waited. The galaxy felt different now. The great war that had threatened to consume worlds was over, or at least, that was what everyone hoped. The battered warship Sentinel returned to Earth, its hull scarred but its spirit unbroken. The crew, weary and changed forever, stepped down to a planet that had waited and watched with bated breath. Victory was theirs, but it was a victory paid for in blood and sacrifice. Captain Marcus Holt stood quietly in the ship's hangar bay, watching his crew reunite with their families and friends. He knew the war had changed everything. The peace that followed was fragile, held together by uneasy alliances and a deep fear of what might come next. The aliens who had sent the warning were pushed back, but their forces were not completely destroyed. Somewhere beyond the stars, their eyes still watched. On Earth, leaders met to decide the future. The war had exposed weaknesses, both in humanity and in their understanding of the universe. Plans were made to strengthen defenses, to build new ships, and to prepare for threats not yet known. The warship Sentinel would become a symbol not just of war, but of hope and resilience. But questions remained. What had the alien warning really meant? Why had they come? Some believed the aliens sought revenge. Others thought they were desperate, refugees fleeing a greater danger. Dr. Mia Carter continued her research, searching for answers in the signals and data collected during the war. Her work hinted at a larger cosmic conflict, one Earth had only just begun to understand. Meanwhile, whispers of new players emerged. Strange transmissions intercepted in deep space suggested others were watching the galaxy's turmoil. Ancient forces, silent for centuries, were stirring once again. The war between Earth and the alien fleet might have been just a beginning, spark that could ignite a greater fire. Captain Holt and his crew prepared for a new mission. Training intensified, new technologies were developed, and alliances with other planets grew stronger. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Survival meant vigilance, unity, and strength. As the stars shone brightly overhead, a new dawn rose for humanity. Earth was no longer a quiet blue planet lost in space. It was a player on a galactic stage, ready to face whatever darkness lay ahead. The warning had come, Earth had replied. With a warship, and the galaxy would never be the same.